Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing, case file 343. Fucking attack drones attacking New Jersey with fucking nuclear weapons.
Attack of the drones. I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
I said drone fever. I said drone fever 2024.
Well, I thought you were going to say ATT drones on. I was like, that's
drones on,
clever.
Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, I said that in the chat.
And then the pressure comes on and you shit your pants and come up with some type of fucking marble mouth trash.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
God damn.
That's my one addition to the show is marble
contribution.
Mouth trash.
Wouldn't be the same.
The thing with listen, the drones have been a hot button issue this December. It's been insane. First off, before we get going on the New Jersey drones, that's fucking going crazy with all these theories. I just wanted to bring attention before we start talking about the New Jersey drones. Do you guys remember we've talked about drones before? 2020, Colorado. There was a 2-week drone spree where they were having at night these drones fly in different formations in various areas in Colorado, and in grid patterns. And people were like, they appear to be searching for something. No one knows what it is. This was 2020, January 2020. And we talked about this shortly after on a Space News or something. And if you remember, they were urging the public, we don't know who or what the drones are, but don't shoot them, please.
Don't shoot down the drones.
Don't shoot the drones. But it was interesting because a lot of these reports were these drones flying in patterns and then looking in grid, and the reports from the people on the ground in the Colorado were like, it appears these drones are searching for something. And I just thought that was super interesting as we start to take a look at this new drone flap that we're experiencing on the East Coast of the United States.
So this is drones part dose is what you're saying.
Yeah. Dose drones.
Yeah. Cool.
Deus Ex drones.
Por favor.
Nope.
Yeah.
Marble mouth trash.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
It is pretty crazy because I read all the headlines, I seen everything, but I didn't really watch many of the videos because usually when I hear drones, I just hear people misidentifying aircraft. That doesn't really interest me. Then all of a sudden it was just week after week, drones, new drone sightings, over 1,000 reports to the FBI, drones. I was like, Jesus, that was a lot of fucking drones. And sure enough, they're there.
Can I just add one more caveat? Before the drone kickoff, you know who reported seeing some sort of weird fucking drone-like thing in the sky? This guy.
Nowhere near the other drones, but he reported the drone.
Nowhere. But when you look at my report when what I talked about, very similar.
Our resident drone expert here did report a drone in his hometown.
The drone correspondent.
That was a month before though, these drones. So did you see was it the first sighting you got?
I saw the first
You started
drone.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
Known to man.
On the totally opposite coast.
Even though we talked, it happened how many years before in Colorado?
Yeah.
So technically
4 years ago.
Yeah.
But we didn't have an eyewitness count.
This is true.
I'm pretty sure we still don't.
Whatever came of your drone sighting?
Nothing.
Nothing. I don't know.
Panicked and couldn't get a picture of it.
No picture.
Fucking blew it. Nothing. Yes.
The guy who every time he watches a video says
the side of your phone to get a picture.
He tells people how to frame the camera, what to do all this stuff when you see a UFO.
And he shits
what
his
does he
pants
do?
when
He
it's his
shits
turn.
the bed.
Shits all over his pants.
It says October 11th. I saw that.
Okay.
He saw something, but we can't believe him
And you
because there
got
was
nothing to show
no
for
video
it.
evidence.
Nothing.
Not one thing.
Not a damn thing.
I have the
Just
time.
a big old skid mark in your pants.
I have a frantic
show
call
for it.
in my call history from Braden at that time.
Yes, but I have the time log, so you can look at the flight logs. I looked at the flight tracker.
Why haven't the flight tracker show a drone there?
No, because it was big though. It was big.
So?
How big?
Drones don't carry, but don't the flight trackers only try to carry transponder
It was big enough.
data?
It was big enough that I thought it was a helicopter.
You know what's crazy to me too, and just put in perspective, just to kick it back a fucking case file or two. You had a guy before, like he literally strapped a fucking camera to a telescope and was able to get a picture. This guy's walking around with a fucking digital camera in his pocket and couldn't get fucking nothing. Like
Fucking guy.
Incompetence at its finest.
He wants more.
And the only guy that claims to be an expert on the fucking
Roast
show.
him in the chat. Give him your best
Pile on.
or your worst.
Pile on.
Pile
Listen,
it on.
I was listening to I was singing, "Can you take me higher?" My phone was in the passenger seat plugged in because if it's anywhere near me, I instantly just text and drive. Like I'm a maniac. I can't
too.
do it. So
Yeah,
it's got to be out of
console,
my reach.
buddy. It's got to be in console.
So it's plugged in. It's over in the driver's seat. I literally, it was just a second. I was like, okay, I'm going to get out because I'm going to confirm it's a helicopter. And then I got up and it was silent. Then I was kind of stunned and I was
How do you get out of the car without the
phone?
phone? How do you get out of the car without the phone?
Well, because I thought for sure it was a helicopter, and I was just like, I'll just get out to just confirm.
Just look at
my
a helicopter
suspicion.
that you see all the time. No big deal.
Yeah, real quick. I'll hear the
The
helicopter
only thing
noise.
you confirmed when you got out of the vehicle is that you're a fucking pants shitter and you blew it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm
You blew it.
The history. I've discussed stories of being a pants shitter long before
That's
this
what
on
I
the
mean.
show, so I don't think you can use that against me in this scenario. But listen, everyone's shitting their pants all over New Jersey.
This is true.
It's fucking insane.
It smells terrible everywhere.
Worse than normal.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going back. It started around. I mean, the accounts slightly vary, but November 18th, roughly, is when people started seeing like 6-foot diameter, like chopper drones.
Now that's
When-
that's
what
a
was the
unit. Like that's a big drone, right?
It's a big fucking drone.
Various sizes. Drones of
Big
various
fucking
sizes.
drone.
Yeah.
I've heard there are reports of some the size of like an SUV.
Yeah.
I've heard like large SUV.
Small car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a couple different
It just depends how high it is. But
Descriptions.
from all the accounts, they seem to be flying relatively low, and they are equipped with like aviation lights. So they're like following
FAA approved.
FAA approved lights, and like the green.
Yeah.
There was the green and red and the white.
Because
on
you're
the
supposed
tail.
to. Well, FAA rules like if you're flying your drone at night, like you're supposed to have some type of lighting. I can't like you have to have some kind of illumination on your drone. At least that's what I was reading on the rules today.
I was reading something that in the States, there's actually like if you fly a drone out of eyesight, you need a pilot license.
Yeah, there are certain rules. Like if you're supposed
Which
to,
is
I think it's
crazy.
only like 400 feet is like the maximum you're supposed to fly it
Yeah.
at. And yeah, you're only supposed to fly it in.
And it actually,
within
because of
and
that,
if you fly it at night, you actually, I think you do need an extra, like another permit. Like
Probably.
You need a permit in
Special
general
license.
to use them. From what I learned on this, like you got to do a fucking course.
yeah. So in Canada, you need like a license to fly them out of eyesight. But if you're just using a regular like rotary drone, like those little like, camera drones, you don't need anything. But if it flies out of eyesight and you're going by camera, you don't need like a pilot license, but you need like a certificate or something. But in the States, I guess you actually need a fucking license, and it's severely hampered like the drone program in the States. Some guy was ranting about it, and that's why China's taken over the drones. Blah blah blah.
Giving the drones to China.
Yeah, all the drones are in China.
That was good.
Yeah. So as of like, I think Saturday, this last week, they said there have been at least 5,000 reported sightings that have had some way related or have been reported to be related to this drone, the drone fever. And then they said, I think like the FBI said that fewer than 100 require further investigation. Like there's a number of them that they're like, okay, out of the 5,000 reports, or like a lot of these are misidentified.
Well, yeah,
They're gonna have to go
anytime
very far to investigate. They're gonna have to go
anytime
down
you
the
get
fucking hall.
anytime you get this many sightings, you get the little bit of a hysteria. So any plane is now a drone. Someone's calling it in. Like there's a fucking
Well,
drone
and-
flying above.
New Jersey Mystery Jones Let's Solve It Facebook page has 75,000 members as of Monday.
Hell yeah.
You know why these people are
Internet
shitting their
sleuths
pants
unite.
though? They probably watched that fucking lecture from Linda Moulton Howe. She showed that video. That scared the fucking piss out of me. That fake, remember that fake drone video?
No,
Which one?
was that?
She
You're
did
talking
a
about
whole,
you're talking about the one with the machine gun.
yeah, the
on top
murder
of it?
drones.
Yeah.
She did a lecture on
yeah,
AI
yeah.
and showed the video,
Yeah.
and I'm like staring at you guys like, is this fucking real? Like,
I thought you were asleep.
Oh, I thought it was a no. It
I was
wasn't a
waiting for
drone.
that part.
It was a robot. I thought it was like a bipedal robot.
She did
I thought.
robots and she did drones. She did
Yeah.
a whole thing on them.
Well, it's good. These are the same drones, maybe. Time will
And
tell.
the thing is, I mean, because a lot of times you've been looking online, and we've been hearing about this, and people have been tagging us and stuff. And like, if you look at a lot of the discourse on X and various social medias, it's like lots of like there's the community split. It's like, well, what's going on here? And the other people are like, the planes and helicopters, you idiot. And then they'll like show pictures of one. I'm like, but I think a lot of people kind of forget. And I'm going to kind of talk like, yeah, listen, at night, has aviation lights. Sure. Some stuff's going to get like misinterpreted, but some of the pictures I've seen, people sometimes forget that there's drones that have plane shapes. Like they're not like the quadricopter drones like we
There's
see.
fixed
like they
wing
look like
drones.
fucking,
There is.
yeah, there's fixed wings drones that look like planes. So when some of these ones are like, look at it, it's clearly a plane. I'm like, that doesn't mean it's not a drone.
Well,
Like, you're
everyone
like,
knows
yes,
the most famous drone everyone knows is like what is it? The Predator drone or the Reaper drones? Like, and they're big. They're the size of trucks, and they carry fucking
They're
Hellfire
like
missiles.
the size
and-
of small planes. Yeah,
Well,
like
if you
they're pretty big.
Google the American HPGE. It looks exactly the same. It's like the exact same fucking shape as those ones.
American
Yeah.
HGPD.
Because some of them they use for some of them they use for agricultural stuff. I think like they use those.
that's fucking
long-range
freedom.
drones.
Let me attach it right now.
Oh, so yeah, so that's like
boys.
that's like the same. Like they're all like the UAVs, like because they first started
That's the
using
size of an SUV right there, boys.
right. So they first started using the UAVs in what like Desert Storm or something. And there was always one flying and taking pictures of.
I think they use them
Battle.
for military, but I think there's commercial and like scientific purposes that they use them for too.
now
Like,
they're
they use them
using
for a bunch of stuff.
these drones, and that's how they're doing the lidar. They attach the lidar to it, and they fly the drone around the jungle or wherever they're using. Way cheaper, and the drones.
Yeah, and they
some
can
of those drones
stay
can
up there
fly
for a
for
long time.
hours and
Yeah.
hours.
What they're cheap? That's cheaper than having a fucking paying a bunch of people with machetes to hack through the jungle
Looking
on like
for
a
pyramids.
2-week
Drones
expedition.
gonna make fucking Indiana Joneses obsolete.
Indiana
Yeah,
drones.
Better.
That's
That's
great.
the next movie.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
That's what we should have titled this.
Yeah, Indiana Drones.
Not too late.
That's great.
It's
We
not
should-
live yet.
Copyright.
That's
We're
ours.
making that a shirt.
Suck it.
But with this many drones flying around and apparently been reported floating over areas, you got them over residential areas, you got them over critical infrastructure, apparently, and even some are reported near military installations. Like the first thing everybody kind of, it's catching traction when people are throwing up the questions at the White House press conferences being like, hey, what's up with these drones? Like, what's going on? So of course, like you get a bunch of stuff, sound bites and stuff from the White House stuff. So they said like officials from the White House, the FBI. Okay, number one, they say that no threat. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here.
Except
Everything's getting but it is saying that the FBI did tell reporters that they're working on 50 local, state, and federal partners to investigate this phenomenon. And they're saying that at the moment, there's no evidence that there is large scale drone activities, that these are all connected in some way or another. Because like I've seen a bunch of the videos, and it's like there's always this thing that happens where it's like when something gets popularized in the media or starts flaring up online, you'll get a lot of people who attach like unconnected events that are kind of similar events, and they'll be like, this is part of that that series of events, when you're like, well, not really.
Like drone sightings that happened 4 years earlier.
Yeah. And
they're linked.
or they'll
Well,
be
I'm
like,
just saying. I was just saying it was just
I'm
interesting
just
that
joking.
we had this thing.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
like,
Braden, change
people
your
were
background to the
confused.
one with the crazy guy, like from the one you used to have,
Charlie Day.
Charlie, yeah, with all the fucking dots and rope.
Pepe Silva.
No, but
Sylvia.
the crazy thing about the FBI, because we're going on a whim here, so I don't remember all the names, but he was in an interview. He was asked like, oh, what is the funding of the FBI? It's like $1 billion. And then said, what is the funding to investigate like unmanned aerial drones, blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's $500,000. It's like, it's not something they've ever really taken seriously. So they don't really have the resources. They don't have anything. He's like, yeah.
It's nothing really developed either.
Yeah.
Like it's, yeah.
You tell me they can't scramble the jets? If they thought that was a threat.
No.
They'd be fucking scrambling.
Well,
They did. I mean, well, technically, everybody runs the weather balloon, the Chinese weather balloon that they downed with the F-20. That was like that
took weeks though to fucking bring that fucker down.
Yeah, and they were like exactly what
How long
it
has
is.
this been?
A month.
But these are also really,
month.
those are at high altitude, and these are at like, you can't fly an F-22 like that close to the ground. Just like pretty sure there's
You seen Top Gun?
bunch of regulations.
You seen Top Gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Fucking
and that's how you get
rip
grounded.
down those gullies, no problem. No, but the crazy thing
No,
is,
that's below the flight deck. You get hit on points if you go below the flight deck.
Okay,
Like,
so they don't shoot them. You're telling me they can't get like, they wouldn't have like high quality photos and shit of these yet? Like, this doesn't.
well, they're at
Right.
night,
So
which is
it's
weird,
theirs.
right? So
It's theirs.
flying drones at night is obviously not
100%.
that's not normal because you either need some type of infrared or like how are you flying? What are you looking at?
Well, yeah, you're not looking for things other than, I guess.
Well, unless you have like IR or something like that. But these drones actually on the 22nd of November, they issued 2 temporary flight restrictions prohibiting drones over the Trump National Golf Club. That was the first one, and that's been issued through December 20th. And they also issued a flight restriction over the Picatinny Arsenal military base in Morris County, which is where most of these are. And I guess that's just like a stockpile of military arms.
Well,
I would imagine
I mean-
it's kind of a sensitive area. You wouldn't want any type of foreign, if it is a foreign
well, there were
spy plane
reports
or
like
something.
it wasn't this. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but they were saying that they were getting reports of drones being flown over like U.S. Air Force bases in the UK. Like there is a report of that kind of going on, which is either a small scale.
Could just be a
drone activity
hobbyist.
They're talking thing. Yeah, it could be something like that. I mean, it could be anybody just being like, I want to see what they're doing in there, which is plenty of people.
The thing with the hobbyist stuff to me is I'm like, there's like, you can go to YouTube and watch people's videos of them trying to fly their drones into Area 51. The drones do not last long in the sky at all, ever.
Well, they just get shot down.
Instantly.
Yeah.
I think the longest one, because I went on a little bit of a tear look into them, the longest one that like got on the airspace was like less than a minute. And it was down.
And when you see these like
instantly.
the hobbyists with their drones, they don't have fucking units like these ones.
No, these are
Yeah.
these
Like
are
these
advanced.
are like, yeah, like these, no hobbyists other than fucking like Richie Rich is flying around a drone this big.
Now,
Some of them, it's like, but some of them are different. You know, like I said, it's like a lot of these. It's kind of hard to. I think it's kind of hard to distinguish like which ones are like the actual drones that people are talking about, and which ones are like actual hobbyists. Because I think actually,
or which ones are actually ours in the sky now? Because who knows? Maybe we're flying up counter drones now, fucking patrolling the area, looking like drone hunting drones.
Hey, I can
Yeah.
buy a drone. I can buy a DJI Matrix 350 RTK for
Right.
$25,000. It's a heavy
No
payload kit.
No problem.
So how big is it?
buy
though?
How
two.
big is this fucking thing though?
Max payload's only 2.7 kilograms.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Fucking nothing.
Well, can't
Flight
carry
time.
anything, but it's
Yes.
already got stuff
So
on
this
it,
is-
right? Like,
This is, I'm going to pull up the map for people watching the live stream.
Of all the sightings.
These are all the reported sightings.
well, there were 5,000 of them, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like every, and only 100 of those apparently are ones that are deemed credible or at least
Of
worth
interest
enough
or
to
of
be,
note, yeah.
of interest, yeah.
Now, to the timeline, like I can see when was the election, Dan? When did Trump win?
It was November
right
18th.
before Dan left the country.
November.
Day
November-
before you left.
Yeah.
8th?
Yeah, November
Something like
8th.
that.
Sorry, yeah.
So it's like you got like I can see, if there's any kind of suspicion or you don't know what's going on, he already had one assassination attempt foiled at a golf club. Like, okay, like, yeah, you don't know where these is. We're going to do a ban. That way, if one flies over there, we can just take it down. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Would you guys see his statement about when they asked him about it? Like they asked him about it just either today or recently, but it was
No.
like he was
What
at a
did he
pre.
say?
You guys see that?
No.
Someone better shoot them down or something, right?
Well, he
Something
said
like
that. He said that we know what they are, or they know what they are. He says the military knows what they are. Like, there's no way that they're flying up there and we don't know what they are. We've got cameras and hype. It's like they can follow these drones all the way to the garage where they're coming from, or something like that. And then he said, but the government knows what they are, and they're not telling people. They don't want to tell people for some reason. They're trying to keep them in suspense. And then when one of the reporters asked him, like, "Sir, have you been briefed about these?" He says, "I don't want to comment."
He's literally saying exactly what we're all thinking.
This is kind of interesting. Where you're just like, government's keeping everybody in suspense. Sir, you're the government now. Like, have you been briefed about these? I don't.
Well, why would he really be briefed as
He's not in
incoming?
office yet, is he?
He's incoming, but he's
Incoming? Would he be brief? Would
He
be
would.
briefed?
Like, they have
a
to,
whole bunch
like,
of,
usually,
crossover meetings, right? Before
when they get like elected, like, they sit down and brief them about everything. Like, they just, like, as soon as you get elected,
See,
like,
the
they
thing
have a
is,
sit down.
well, like, and again, that kind of reminds me of like the Chinese balloons. Like the balloons we had before we started shooting them down. We found out that they were just being allowed to fly over because they're like, yeah, we know all about them, and we're seeing what they're collecting, so we know what they're taking.
There's a lot of representatives in Congress right now that are, also expressing concern over these, especially like the ones in New York. I think it's Governor Hochul. Like, they're all kind of talking about, like, we want to know what these are, what's going on, and they're like, the government won't tell us, and they're like, well, you're the government, you could request a briefing about these things. Of
Not
course,
if it's national security, Dan, highly classified.
I know some of them won't be cleared for this, but it's like
national security.
Yeah, so I
That's
don't.
what I read on Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said in an interview that there's no question that New Jersey residents are seeing some drones. Like, some of these are
100%.
Definitely drones.
There's drones, no doubt.
But he's also saying that at least some of these are actually, some of those dots on the Braden's map there are manned aircraft. Like, they're
no
just
doubt
being
either.
misidentified.
Yeah. There's no doubt that some of them are just regular planes.
But he did.
Especially when they have the same
even-
lights. They have the same lights as planes. Like,
Well, he made this interesting point where he said that the increased activity that people are seeing or are perceiving might be because there was a 2023 change in the FAA rule allowing for the nighttime flying of drones. Like, they relaxed.
But it took just until now
things.
to start flying them at night.
Everybody's getting their drones before Christmas. I don't know.
It's like a year
isn't
to,
it
like,
just fucking Amazon delivering shit?
In some areas, I think they're testing out, but I don't think it's like it's widespread. Doing
I think
that yet.
I think that's only in like San Francisco. Like,
You got to be like living right next to one of the, and you have to live like right next to one of those distribution centers.
I remember reading a
think.
story that there was some type of drone delivery, but people were actually knocking them out of the air and stealing the packages. So
Yeah, that was also, yes, that was happening.
100%.
Of course. Like,
That does not surprise me. For
unless this thing is fucking bulletproof and it can fly
yeah.
really fast.
Also, don't want. I mean, I think it is understandable that they don't want people shooting at these because those bullets go up and they also come
down somewhere.
Well, dude, I know I watched like a TikTok or a reel about like some old guy down south who got arrested because he walked out and shot
That's right.
Amazon delivery driver. And he's
That's
like,
right.
I don't care. It flew over my house. He's
Yeah.
like, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want my hands behind my back? And they're like, we can do it up front. He's like, whatever, it's fine. And he like did not care.
Yeah, well, I mean, so this is going on now for a couple weeks, and it pretty much leads the FBI to issue the statement saying they have the federal was it the bureau? What do they call it? FBI? What does that sound for?
Federal Bureau.
Federal Bureau.
Investigation, yeah.
So it's serious enough. You bring in the feds to investigate, right? There's enough calls. There's enough suspicion. They come in. They issue a statement. Yes, there is drone activity. However, a lot of it is misidentified aircraft, blah, blah, blah. You get Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey urging other agencies to get involved, like Department of Homeland Security and the federal and the FAA. And then on the 11th, that's when they get the first like closed door briefing about the drones. And not everything came out about that, I don't think. They said they sent over an electro-optical infrared camera designed to detect drones within 1 to 2 miles, even in the dark. But they never really released if they found what they found with that. So it's kind of like a closed door meeting. They're like, we look for them with IR, and that's all we're going to tell you for now.
Yeah, it could also be like there were no drones up that night.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to probably take some time before some stuff. I mean, some stuff has happened. I don't know if we want to take a break before we start talking about, like, there is stuff that has happened. For example, like this one, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
Area 52.
Yeah, Area 52. That apparently that they actually shut down their air operations for 4 hours on Friday night, like into Saturday, because quote, small unmanned aerial systems were detected and they didn't want to do anything. They said all the normal operations of the facility weren't impacted, but they had to actually shut down their airspace for a little bit. Like, it's kind of, it's serious to the point where that's happening.
Right.
Or they're taking more note of it now, where it's like, but I also think it's like, okay, if you have drones flying around your base, yes, that sucks. But it's also like, we've had satellite imaging for decades. And it's like the Russians, it's like if they wanted to see what was going on in a military base, you would just take pictures. Like, you just take pictures from space.
If you can see it from 100 feet up, you can see it from space with those fucking
we were getting
together.
pictures in like this, like in the 70s and the 80s. They were getting these super high. They were getting pretty good resolution photos.
Don't you remember Enemy of the State with Will Smith? They were tracking that motherfucker
exactly.
everywhere.
It was a fucking great movie.
Right down there. Found
like,
right at his
I
forehead from
forgot all
space.
about that.
Gene Hackman, like, come on.
Oh, what a phenomenal
And I was like,
movie.
it would make more sense that, like, why would you want to send a drone, which would be possibly easier to shoot down than a satellite in space that was just sitting over, just taking photos.
And then you would know about it.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it
seems kind of strange.
It led to like December 12th. Former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, he's seen dozens of large drones above his home in Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So they're starting to spread out a bit.
Well, he was a presidential
FBI
he was a presidential hopeful. I think that's like when in there.
And
so
some of the FBI that wrote, like, some of the things I was reading, that some of the agents that were out investigating the drones,
they followed
were
them
like
home.
out. They'd go and then they'd be like, they'd follow the agents home. They're like, now they're above my house. What the fuck is going on? Like, this is crazy. So
That's how, like, I'm surprised these things haven't been shot down in some situations.
Well, on December 13th,
Like, that thing follows you home. That's terrifying.
on December 13th, Trump on Truth Social wrote, "Let the public know, and now, otherwise, shoot them down."
no, don't do that. No.
If Trump's saying shoot them down, someone's going to shoot one down.
President, you
I
gotta
know
shoot
someone's
him.
in.
Someone will shoot one down. They'll get a shotgun out and they'll fucking
Yeah,
blast
they're gonna
one.
shoot at it and miss, and somebody's gonna get hit by a bullet.
Yeah, because you know what? Not a bullet, but this actually happened to a friend of ours who was shooting golf balls into the city. I don't know if did you ever hear this story? About,
Shooting them or driving
what?
them?
you know who
No.
it is? He's bit.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I know exactly who it is. It's the second you said it.
Launching
what
golf
happened?
balls into the city out in their backyard. And then like a day later, they found out that they hit a girl on a swing
Oh, my God.
and she fell off and broke her collarbone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so if a golf ball can do that,
Yeah,
bullet,
don't
don't do it. Don't shoot in the sky.
do it.
Unless you got some type of nice,
I'm
like,
pretty sure it's a felony.
unless you got like an EMP pulse gun, you could just knock out the electrical system and drop the drone.
Sure.
So we need
Well, they
Batman.
do. They have those drone guns now that just like shoot the fucking signal jammer.
Yeah, and just knock them out of the sky.
Yeah. They look
I
like
saw-
huge fucking futuristic bazookas.
So
hold
I've
on,
seen-
hold on. Drone gun. I'll look it up.
Why can't
I've
we
s-
follow them home? Because, like, what is the fuck? Like, with these things can fly for maybe an hour?
Yeah,
Dude, look at these things.
if
It
they're
looks like a weapon
conventional
from
drones-
Perfect.
hour and a half. Yeah,
These look like the things from Perfect Dark.
yeah, they're big old. They're
Buddy,
chunky
I've seen
boys.
Batman. Batman
They're
uses
clunky.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
But, yeah, like, they're. How hard would it be to track that? There's no way that they haven't tracked these things to where they're coming from.
exactly.
There's
Well, that's
no
what I'm-
fucking chance.
Yeah, but
zero chance.
We're gonna take a beer break here and we'll get into some theories. But I mean, what if there is not conventional
There's
drones?
drones. There's drones in the sky. That's all we know right now. We'll get into theories.
All right, we're gonna take a quick beer break. We're gonna be right back.
Drones. We're back.
All right, so we know there's drones. Drones are real. They're out
Yeah.
there. They're flying around.
What are they?
What are they?
What's going on? What are the theories? First theory. there is an Iranian mothership off the East Coast that is shipping
100%.
drones over the continental USA.
Yeah, I played Ace Combat 7.
There's a
like, I know
drone
what that's
carrier.
about.
Is what you're saying?
A drone
Mothership.
drone mothership. An Iranian drone mothership.
Wait, is the drone
off the coast?
Is the drone mothership?
No, I think that was-
flying.
No, I think
I
that's
don't know.
actually. I think it's actually that's not that it's off the coast of the United States, but I think that the drone mothership thing was actually real because I think I remember reading about them at least testing out that technology where you would have.
And it's from Iran?
Yeah, like they had developed like a type of drone that would like it would carry other drones and whatever. Just a big drone, mothership drone drops the other. I mean, like I said, I played Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown or whatever. Like
are they
it's
doing
like that's
this,
the same.
is this
vital to the
revenge?
plot?
For overthrowing Assad in Syria? Like, why are they doing this?
Well, I think they actually said that there's no Iranian ships that put up.
No,
a drone
hold on,
mothership.
Dan, chill out. First off, I think we need to look at what Iran's oil reserves look like.
Okay.
Right? Are they good?
Oh, yeah. It's
Are
definitely
they good
from Iran.
Because if Iran's got a lot of oil, I'm liking this Iranian mothership, and I think we should invade immediately. Let's get that price of crude oil back down to about $1.10.
The mothership's called the Ayatollah 1. Fucking, oh, yeah. You watch out, man.
You know what's funny about the drone mothership is that they actually have a drone mothership that they developed. It's like a converted shipping container, I guess, or like shipping container ship, like hauler.
Right. Yeah.
And so they converted it to like a drone mothership, and it did leave port in November, but it went to the Persian Gulf, and they have satellite images of where it went. It's taking part in like naval exercises with their rest of their navy. But the fact that they have one is pretty crazy. Like how many drones can a drone mothership hold?
Well,
If it's a cargo ship like that?
I would support like it would more depend on like what you have to maintenance them with, like your support crew, like what it would have to like support
Dude,
each drone.
It's a bunch of
Where do they
nerds
think
with
this-
fucking controllers just flying drones.
Hey, those Xbox Elite controllers are expensive, right?
They do. I use one. It's awesome.
Well, even if you
they're
think
really
like
good.
think about like how cheap it is to build drones and like have some sort of drone like army and then you're like
Yeah, $25,000 drones.
That's for a small one.
Talked about that. Yeah.
That,
Well, but when you got that fucking,
Yeah, but how-
when you got that oil Masari,
but
you're
that's
laughing.
fucking chump change compared to building a fighter jet,
It's true.
right?
It's expendable.
So it's like
Well, it's
and
like,
if
yeah,
you-
but they also don't fire missiles. Like they just float around.
yeah, but if
Sure they do.
But here's
The big
my
ones.
point. Here's my point. Yeah, well, even the ones that don't carry missiles, they can carry explosives. And if all they're doing is like some of these drone, like if you watch like drone shows or something, even the quadricopters, where they can like put up like a wall of like drones, it's like if they're all rigged with little explosives and even fly into an aircraft, or an
kamikaze
aircraft
drones?
flies through them, it's kamikaze drones, right? It's like honestly having a minefield in the air. Right, you know what I mean? Like it's we've moved from having the minefield now. You just have these drones with explosives. It's like, cool. You got F-16s, but if they fly through these little fucking our little drone net, they're gonna fucking explode.
I don't think they could get that high. Like I don't F-16s cruise at like thousands of feet.
No,
Not
if
only
you
that-
get them before they take off, though, Dan, when they're on their way up.
Why would like
Really
if
fast.
you got the drones from Iran? Why are they following FAA regulations?
True.
What are
Yes.
they?
They're
What
trying
are
to
they
blend
doing?
in.
Like, you think
That's a good
the
point.
fucking you think some rich sheik is sitting in Iran being like, buddy, I want to see the home of Tony Soprano. All right, buddy, we want to go check it out.
Show
We're
me.
going to go.
Yeah.
I want to see some gabagool. Like, what are they doing?
At night.
Yeah, at night. The only way to do, buddy. Only
Yeah.
way.
I want to.
I mean,
I want to read a
it
theory
falls
from the
apart.
chat after.
let's hear this theory from the chat.
All right, this one's very timely.
there's lots
Actually,
of
it's
theories.
actually Canada, and these are Canadian military drones in response to the threat of Trump's tariffs. That we're down there.
Have you
not
seen
very
what our
threatening.
government is capable of? Like our aerospace technology.
This is
It's
all
whatever
we're-
you
this is
guys
what we're
have.
capable
It's hand me down.
All your best planes are sitting at the bottom of the lake.
No, we don't
We're
have.
in
Yeah,
the
they
West
are.
Edmonton Mall.
That's why all we have is regular $22,000 drones. That's the best we got.
Not to mention, like, when those tariffs got announced, our prime minister was like, listen, we will fight back. And
please don't do it.
America failed to elect a woman twice. And I just want everyone to know that I'm a feminist. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with tariffs.
Yeah.
Did he say he was going to cut energy exports or imports?
No, he didn't. That was one of the fucking provincial prime
Provincials.
ministers or provincial premiers. Was
Premiers.
Whatever. Great
they
state
were like,
of Canada.
we'll fucking
Okay.
turn the power off.
Turn the taps off.
But
No more water,
as
America.
For Canadian
divert.
drones, unlikely. If you would have said, hey, there's a Canadian sub, I would have been like, yes. First off, we can check
sub-drone.
West Edmonton Mall to see if
See
they're
it's still
gone.
there. Yeah.
And if they're not there, then yes, we can chalk that up. But as for Canadian drones, we got shit in Canada.
Yeah.
We have
you guys,
nothing.
you'd have to risk life and limb to like strap some cameras to some Canada geese or something. And then
Did you guys?
I mean,
did
I
you
think
guys
we got
watch
good
that?
drones, but they're not going to make it to New Jersey from Canada. It's too far.
No.
Did you guys watch that?
All your drones are busy looking for Bigfoot. Like that's what your drones are doing.
You watch the John Ferguson videos?
Oh, is this the
Yeah.
one you sent me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the John Ferguson videos are probably, if you don't know who that is, that's probably, honestly, it raised my eyebrows the highest.
Yeah.
Probably when I was
kind
watching
of.
them, I was like, ooh.
He's the CEO of Saxon Aerospace,
They build drones.
which is a drone company. Yeah.
Dude, and he's standing in front of the backdrop is a dope ass drone
Yep.
when he's giving his speech.
Just
Yeah.
credibility
Selling.
right there.
So pretty
Just
much
gotta
what
sell it.
the summary of his theory was. The problem with it I have is it's always like I knew a guy who talked to a guy, you know.
Yeah, very Tom
That's the
DeLonge-ish.
very, very.
So he
reliable.
knew a guy who talked to a guy that there was. I mean, it's no secret that when the Soviet Union fell, a lot of those nukes were in the Ukraine. But Ukraine,
Yeah, so he's talking about like when Reagan dismantled the nuclear program, right?
when Ukraine gave up their nukes as part of
Right.
it, they
For
gave them up.
Security assurances.
Yeah, pretty much. But what he's saying is that they weren't all accounted for, which I've read that before. Like, yeah, not the unaccounted nukes of Ukraine, but that's the headlines is about as far as I ever get on that, right? But he says that
There's
there
like
was
80, he supposes.
Yeah.
80 unidentified or unlocated warheads, I guess. And then this guy of a guy who he knew
He talked to this guy directly.
Yeah.
Touched one.
touched it somehow,
Touched it.
and pretty much said that this nuke is on its way to America.
Okay.
Okay. So he says that, and then the video goes on, and he's like, which I do agree with, is like, if these are drones flying low at night, I mean, they're probably looking for something or someone.
Well, he says,
Like, aren't those warheads like huge? Like, I don't like. You'd
They're
have
dropped
to,
from a fucking giant plane. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, like they're large.
Or
and
shot
even if
on a
people are
giant
like,
rocket.
they're like, it's a dirty bomb. But I'm like, even then, it's kind of like, I don't know.
But anyways, that
But I mean, hold on. But if you have a warhead on that note, because we're saying that like
Just kind of
this
detonate
John
it. You still have the whole
Ferguson,
system.
John Ferguson his hypothesis is that these drones, the only reason they'd fly at night is if they're sniffing for something, and he believes they're sniffing for radioactive material or possibly one of these warheads that they may have information has entered the United States. And so again, I would agree that if these are warheads from the Reagan era time, like you would think they were huge, but like, could you not, if you have these warheads, dismantle them and make new ones with the material? Like, because you would just need the stuff that's hard to get in the
no, it's
warhead,
not.
which is like the uranium.
I think
And,
that's how it works.
So I quickly looked up because I'm like, so obviously you can make the bigger the nuke, the bigger the explosion, but you can make, I guess,
bigger the boom.
pretty small ones.
I can do that math.
So I asked a quick AI ask here. The W80 warhead only weighs 290 pounds.
That's not
that's not that big. That's not that big.
Like, we can
fucking deadlift
that. No, easy.
It's just
Dude, that could
One
be
hand.
in a truck
You can
bed.
bench
That could
that.
be in a truck bed, right? So that makes sense. Then if you're looking at these things and they think they've made their way to the eastern seaboard, these things are then just flying, and it is the States drone, which makes the most sense to me because like I honestly think like with how the States is, if they weren't the States drone, I think they would be fucking obliterated instantly. Like, I do not think
100%.
the second the public was like, hey, what's going on?
Scramble
The United
'em.
States, just like the fucking balloons. The second the public was onto the balloons, they're like, fucking blow them out of the sky.
100%.
Right? And so the second the drones became an issue, I believe the United States government would have just been like, all right, fuck it,
Well,
that's
not
enough
only
of the
like,
drones.
okay, let's not shoot them. Let's get fucking high definition photos of them. Let's fucking capture one. Like, they could have done all these things by now. Yet it's all being released. But the one thing they want to
like-
make sure you don't do is don't shoot it down.
Yeah, but like when good spies, like a good spy craft is like, you don't, if you know it's a spy, if you know they're a spy, you don't let them know that you know that they're a spy.
totally.
You just monitor their communications and let them keep thinking that they're, not
gotcha.
known
Yeah.
to be a spy.
That not being
that-
detected.
Yeah,
But that the
like, I
problem
would
is
think
they're
it's like-
detected by everyone now.
So you remember when I said like to Google the HPGE drone?
Yeah.
Right? That looks just like the ones. Have you guys seen, like, obviously there's tons of credibility here because this is random Twitter guy.
Trust me, bro. All right.
So this guy's on Twitter, his name is Jersey Futures, goes on a little bit of a rant about what these are. And what he says is, what you're seeing are American-made HPGE nuclear detector drones. They can detect the presence of gamma rays miles away. But what is a gamma ray?
What is the gamma ray?
That'd be the stuff we attribute to radiation, electromagnetic waves that penetrate you and cause cancer or turn you into the Hulk, obviously.
Of course.
What we know.
That's all
Parents
I've
told us
heard of.
anything.
Sure.
HPG drones are built to inspect nuclear sites, but these ones aren't. In the late 2000s, the DoD needed a response to the threat of dirty bombs from ISIS coming into our ports in New York and New Jersey. They've been stocking up on these drones for a while. Some were deployed in Ukraine when the Russians threatened to use the dirty bombs. They look weird because they're heavy and have giant cryo coolers mounted. I'm impressed I said
Cryo
that.
coolers.
Cryo coolers mounted in giant horn antennas to communicate on wave frequencies that can't be jammed. There's a lot to this.
Sure.
So they have drones that do look for
Look just like
nuclear.
That looked just like
the
this.
technologies these drones use have few suppliers, both for wave equipment and high purity germanium. The same suppliers that are the backbone of the industry. So what are they doing? Collecting information in how public will react, PSYOP, and testing their ability to sweep a port city like New York for dirty bombs. Jersey was chosen because we're the closest port to the city, to New York, and New York would be too dense for reliable wave comms. But why is the DoD silent? Again, because in this scenario, we have a threat of a dirty bomb and the public doesn't know yet. The DoD needs to know how the public would react if these were deployed to sweep a city. What many don't realize is Ukraine is the reason we're here. That was the first time we deployed them in combat zone. But make no mistake, they're for protecting the homeland as DoD.
So pretty much,
What's up?
Well, you
Is that
just
it?
saw
Is that the end?
hard- hard-
I have to go back in.
hey, give him a break. His eyes don't work, okay?
Make no mistake, as the DoD bought hundreds of thousands to act as swarms capable of sweeping a city. And I'm sorry for all. Oh yeah, typos. No. And for the nerds who know a bit about what I'm talking about, take a look at a close-up of the drones. They operate in a grid both to sweep areas, but also because comms are done in mesh network operating at 200 GHz plus
Gigahertz.
Gigahertz.
fast.
which is very directional and need bulky horn antennas mounted. Not a military expert, but spent half of my career as an RF engineer. We were only hired in military, telecom, and finance. I'm speculating that this is just a drill, but know exactly what those drones are.
Let's say 500 gigahertz communication.
200 gigahertz, operating at 200 gigahertz.
And the waves would be so small you could block that with like moisture.
Well, I mean, that theory that like it does that to me would check out that they're testing.
And why they're keeping it hush hush.
Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like you could. Would you not want to let the public know that you're testing because you wouldn't want foreign adversaries to know that you
Well, it makes sense. Just to gauge people's reactions, right? They're always doing fucking weird shit.
like a weird psyop to see how people react to weird drones.
Plus,
in
they
the sky.
probably don't want other people to, like other countries, whatever, to know about the drone technology that we have,
Well,
right?
And
if
exactly
we
what they're
found
doing.
it that
Yeah.
quick, they know. Everyone else fucking knows.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but announcing it and letting them find out on their own, I'm sure, are two different things.
But then my thing is, I'm like, okay, if you're doing this test and you know about them, why have fucking lights on them?
Because they want to make
what
it
you
seem
have
like
to
they're,
do.
you gotta
they're
follow
regulatory.
fucking
I mean, you don't
regulation.
want anybody crashing into your drone. Your
Expensive.
$25,000 drone.
But like the lights are the one of the main things that tells me that like this is fucking government.
They're man-made.
American.
That's what I
Yeah.
would say. That's what I would say too. I would say the lights give it away. Is there's something like terrestrial about it, like whether who it is.
Unless
But
their
I would
aliens
say-
are trying to blend in.
No, I would say government, just and the United States government specifically, based on the fact that these things would be fucking obliterated. The
100%.
second, right? The second the public was like, "What are these?" and you have the president being like, "What? Shoot them down!" They would be shot down.
They would be
instantly,
shot
if it's not
down,
us.
and they would know exactly where. Like these things, how far are these things capable of traveling? They would follow these things home, 100%, like without a fucking doubt. We would use
100%.
our drone technology to follow these fucking things as far as we
Well,
could.
they did. What is it in New Jersey? No, Boston. They caught some guys apparently. Boston police arrested 2 men on Saturday after a drone was detected dangerously close to Logan
Yeah, but
International Airport.
That drone looks nothing like the ones that we're seeing, right? Like that's
Well, I'm
what
saying that not all
drone.
maybe not all of the drone activity is related. You're just like
No,
fucking
I
everything in the
totally
everything in the
agree.
drone is now getting like anything with the word drone or anything having to do with drone now goes in the news and then it's automatically associated
This is
with the
listen.
drone.
This
thing.
is just big government trying to take drones out of the
Dronarchy,
pop.
buddy.
Yeah, they're trying to get
Yeah.
drones banned. This is a psyop to get personal drones banned. All right, they don't want you to have
No,
personal
no
drones.
one wants. They don't want your drones.
Listen, yeah,
They're coming
I
for
mean,
our drones, guys.
I just think like because some people have been like, oh, it's an alien invasion, and I remember I read this one theory that it was like I guess some AI predictor predicted that like 39 days after Trump's election there'd be an alien invasion, and they were like, this almost lines up perfectly with all of a sudden Trump's elected, and now we're seeing all these drone acts alien. I'm like, I just feel like that wouldn't be the case because like why would they use FAA lights? Why would they look like planes and like
Well, here,
No, my
drones
favorite
that we
what is
know.
it?
the thing is, not
ahead, Sam.
all of them do look like drones. Some people have, or like the drones we're talking about. Some people claim they look spherical or kind of orb-like, like
Yeah.
an
That's
ET
their
UAP.
that's their
Well,
that's
I
their
mean, we
hologram
just-
projectors. That's what it
We
is.
just
that's
saw
where I'm going
that
next.
there's that sphere UFO that was just seen a couple weeks ago on the Manchester tarmac, right, by pilots, and they got a picture of it, and it looks like a metallic sphere. You're like, what the fuck is that? So it's like, is that out of the question? But it's like, then it's like, okay, well, do we have a mix here of like maybe we're having some sort of like micro UFO flap where these spheres are being seen mixed with the United States flying drones to try to catch these things, and it's just a mix of everyone in the sky all at the same time. They're like, no one knows what's going on. now.
Maybe they're using the drones as some type of like cloaking device, right? Draws everybody's attention to see the drones while they fucking do what they want.
Maybe, yeah, it's a misdirect.
Yeah, sleight of hand.
I mean, because there is stories on Reddit and Twitter or X about people. Because I was thinking to myself, like, all right, there's so many people that own drones. Why not just send up your own drone
I have
and
two.
see what that fucking drone's up to up there? Battle of
Oh,
the
I'm
drones.
sure
Yeah.
people are doing just that.
But some people claim that when they try and send their drone up towards these unidentified drones, that their batteries suddenly die or the drone just mysteriously falls out of the sky. Like just
Dude,
drops
Those
dead.
EMP guns.
Yeah.
Those commercial drones, like I don't know, the drones I have, it's like you fly them for like 15 minutes. Those things take a dive.
I'm just saying, people think that not all of these drones, but some of these drones are actually different. They don't show signs of propulsion or light source, and they actually are an alien drone.
And they have some sort of counter fucking drone technology where they're knocking out the ability for the
Well, we've
users
talked
to
about it before in
fly
lots of
nearby.
case files where it's some type of UFOs will draw power out of a car. The car will die. Like it has like a
Yeah.
weird like field effect, electromagnetic effect that will just pull power out of stuff. That's part of like the force field or like gravitational field it uses. So, I mean, that's one theory. Like, obviously some of these are legit just human drones. We just don't know whose they are. But then some of them, people claim that they're actually alien or UFO looking drones. And that would kind of make sense with all the, in history, there's always any type of, if they're like in World War II, they had the Foo Fighters, like the orbs and stuff, are kind of like monitoring the dogfights and like people like they kind of like watch what humanity's up to. So if something is going on in this area, if there is, not saying there is, but if there was, it would make sense if there is aliens watching that they would be there monitoring, doing the same thing. But most of these drones just look like regular fucking drones.
The other thing I want to point is like, okay, so if we're saying that like perhaps some of these are some sort of UFO technology based on reports, like you said, of them drawing power and stuff, you know, could we also start to say that like maybe we're just starting to see the United States technology based on reverse engineering? So these are like, yes, UFOs have had that ability. We've heard those reports, but like they're now flying these things that have that ability because we've had crafts and we've just been slowly reverse engineering this stuff. And they're like, yeah, the drones we have now, if you fly near them, they will fucking suck the power out of your device.
That's cool.
Like as like some sort of like counter, like, you know what I mean? Like counter technology where it's like, if you get even remotely close to it and it's electronic, fucking toast, power down. So I'm like, you know, maybe it's just the majority of reports. Yes, I've read some of those ones about the spheres and stuff, but I would say the overwhelming majority is like plane looking drones, like small 6 feet, SUV size. The sphere ones are the outliers. So I'm saying maybe on that, but it's. I know if I'm going like trying to find like the median, I'm going to like these are drones, and we have the like basically the government saying that this is the case. We're admitting that some of them are drones we're not quite sure about.
They're drones. They're not a threat to national security. Therefore, there are drones. That's pretty
exactly.
When I hear that, I go, well, they're America's drones, and they're doing 100%. some type of activity, some type of reconnaissance, something that they just don't want the public to know right now. And then when it's over, like, oh, this was a military operation, blah, or something. That's where my mind goes to first. Like, all right, they're not a threat. They keep saying that. They can't tell you what it is because for whatever reason. And then when it's over, they're like, oh, it was a military operation. It's classified national security. And then they'll be over. And no one will you won't be able to get anything out of it. That's where my mind keeps going. But.
Well, and I'm like, yeah.
Right? But there's more. There's got to be more. There's more theories for sure. They're floating around out there. Right? We just had an election that some people did not like. Maybe some people in that government, the deep state, didn't like it either. And they're trying to hold power. So what would you do? Would you stage some type of false flag? A World War III trigger? Oh, it's Iran's drones. It's China's drones. It's Russia's drones. They're on our soil. Maybe, you have a little bit of a false flag.
Well,
and next thing you know.
The Iranian one would be so weird though, because you're like, the fucking main regime just fell, and you're like, it is
what?
them. We're gonna
not in Iran.
No.
That's
Syria.
Syria. Yeah.
Assad went down.
They don't got drones.
Yeah.
Right?
But Iran's had a couple crises over the couple of years. Like, I don't think they're doing really that great.
No, wasn't Iran part of the pager?
That's propaganda. They're
okay.
thriving, Dan.
Didn't
they have a bunch of protests, like women protests?
They've been having those for years, haven't they?
Yeah, but then
but all they do is bitch and moan.
They had a bunch of student protests where they put students in jail for life for protesting.
Oh, yeah,
fucking
that
crazy.
one fucking wrestler that got hung.
Oh yeah,
but wasn't Iran part of the Pagergate, or part of Iran and the Ayatollah and Hezbollah? They all got their fucking dicks blown off with the pagers.
Oh yeah,
from Israel, yeah.
Which we talked about it briefly, but what a fucking
That's
long
fucking
con.
insane.
What a long con to get those pagers, get them in their hands, let them hold them for a while, and eventually, bang, blow them all up.
Dude. And then you go
crazy.
like this. You're like, where are all these made? Where are all our fucking cell phones made? Right? Bam. Every single one of our cell phones is made by a country that we deem
They don't even need a nuclear EMP. There's like little EMPs and all these phones are all going to go off at the same time and just drop everything.
Dude, could you even imagine though that like every single
wasn't that the
person's
plot to the Kingsman, like the first movie?
No, well, it made everybody angry.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right?
And our phones make us angry anyway, so it's kind of the same.
It's still working.
But like even that, like say that like the next iPhones or the last couple generations of iPhones, they just explode when you could you imagine that like it would overrun
Well,
the
you see what
hospitals,
happens
like,
when you drop like that guy dropped a weight on his phone while he's working out.
And it's
If
just
you
like,
crush the battery, if you
Yeah,
crush
so
or
it's-
drill the lithium battery, they blow up.
But
Oh yeah,
like
expose
you were
lithium
saying,
to
Braden, like,
oxygen as this happens. It's chemistry.
they were like Assad and what is it? The Khomeini, whoever the leader of Iran is, like that. Those are allies, right? Like they're fucking. Iran is not happy that Assad, the
he's
Assad
out.
regime and Syria got overthrown. Like they're not fucking happy about that shit.
But America wasn't part of that, wasn't it? Were they?
well, I'm sure they.
America definitely had a fucking hand in that.
Listen, are you kidding me? Are you
America
kidding me?
Israel
There was nothing to do. There was no way America was part
I'm
of that.
sure
in
there
any
was
way.
fucking CIA plants
No,
everywhere.
No, that's bullshit. They would never do that.
We're gonna hear about some sort of fucking weird operation, fucking jizz your pants in 25 years about how they how they fucking got the public to rise against them somehow by dropping shit on them or something.
Wasn't the
It'd be
Assad
wild.
regime like pretty brutal? I don't think it would take much.
They're
No,
very
from-
brutal. But how long did they rule for? Like,
Yeah, but
it took
I'm saying,
it took a
but it
lot.
wouldn't. Yeah, but I was like,
Took a fucking
still-
shit.
Weren't they? Yeah, but didn't they have?
He's been ruling with an iron fist for what the last?
Yeah, but
fucking
haven't
20
they
years?
had haven't they had rebels like for that long? Like they've had.
Well, yeah, but
Well, America was in there for a while.
unsuccessful, and then now you have the open conflict with Israel and the United States, and all of a sudden, one of the major allies in the Axis goes fucking down from getting overthrown. Like it's
You just don't hear like even a fucking nothing about it. Like you hear just
No,
you hear
God,
this the surface crumbs, and then in 20 years it all comes tumbling out. But what other theories? So I mean, a false flag. I mean, it's a tough one to pull off on home soil. I think of a drone. If you want to do a false flag, like you gotta like a rocket has to fly across the ocean. So if you want to do a false flag, you have to shoot a rocket, like a long-range ballistic missile across the ocean and blow up something on your own soil.
Or you could have these drones kamikaze.
Yeah, but like, how do those drones get here? I guess anything can be controlled through satellite. So if you got a drone, just like the pagers, you got a drone on a ship, you got them here. They're in the warehouse.
they had to get them.
All these drones are in the warehouse, and you fucking bring them in all
That's
online.
the mothership. Is the warehouse.
They all come online. They all kind of like fly out of the warehouse and they go do their thing. All remote controlled through satellite. Sure,
Yeah.
I guess.
They've been slowly smuggling them fucking over the border for the last how many years?
Yeah, us.
But now
Canada
they know
has.
they're
It's our plant.
Yeah. Yep.
No, that
I mean, yeah, you can fly a helicopter drone on Mars.
the meeting with Trudeau and Trump did not go well. So
No, fucking Trudeau's been crying for
been crying ever since.
He's been fucking balling.
Everyone
his
in
eyes
our government's just quitting. They're like, I don't like this. I'm done. This sucks.
Oh God, that guy's he's gotta
Anyway,
go.
that's like,
Get rid
get
of him.
out. Get out, Dan.
Get
Come
rid
save
of
us.
him.
Yeah. Get up here, Dan.
So we got foreign interference. Maybe you got the nuclear dirty bomb that's hiding in somewhere up the river in New Jersey, and they're looking for it. Maybe that would be terrifying if that fucking
going
actually
with-
did happen. But
I'm going with test operation because that's what will help me sleep at night.
just a military test, and they'll just that's
I
it.
think
I wonder
the
if
test-
it's just drones like being flown by like documentary crews without a permit. Like
be
they
that.
just they don't want to say anything.
You don't think the government would
continuous.
have shut this down by now? Like it would have been
Yeah,
gone.
they would've
Well,
shut
no, but they would have just like said something to these guys.
One
and then been
fucking
like, yeah, hey,
hobbyist
don't do
flies
that.
their craft into like near an airport, and they go to jail.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
serious.
Like,
true.
It's like flying. Yeah, it's.
well,
yeah,
that's
it's
that's
insane.
that's
Like, the
public
punishment
safety. If
for-
I
you
guess
fly a
it's like
drone
those
into
things-
an
I've heard
airspace,
some of
it
those
hits a
things.
fucking plane, and 300 people die. Like that's fucking.
Well, I've seen videos of people like they're using like those class 1 lasers and like pointing them at the drones and stuff, and it's like
Yeah,
you
shouldn't
might
do
be
that
pointing.
either.
Yeah, you
That
should do
can
that
go
either.
a
You might be
long
pointing-
way.
That's
The
also
fines
a
are
felony.
insane, and jail time for that are insane.
Like that's actually a plane. Like you're gonna be in trouble.
See, I think the problem with me is like I don't think that the nuclear dirty bomb. I like that theory.
I don't
as
like
to
it,
what,
but
like,
I don't
makes
want it
sense.
to happen.
But no, I don't like it for that. But I just think
Jersey's
our
too close.
I think the United States intelligence network is too vast and runs too deep that something like that could make its way there unnoticed. Like this would be the last line of defense. And to be honest, if the drones started sniffing, if someone had it here, I feel like you'd be like, we have to detonate it immediately because they're onto it. Like they're going to sniff it out instantly, blow it up. So
Yeah.
I would say that like it's more likely that this is a test operation for that. They're looking for something. They're testing that if X happened, could they find it utilizing these drones at night, sniffing these things out? And the byproduct of that is they're just gauging how the public reacts to see what happens, right? Like, do these things get noticed? Do they get good footage? Like, because it's all an experiment at this point.
It's been a while since we've had a pandemic. Let's start something new.
Yeah.
Let's fucking scare the shit out of people again.
You know what?
Like, we got to get Diddy out of the news.
That brings me to my next theory. Have you heard? So now this
Are they
new
chemtrailing COVID again?
no, this don't fucking say that on the fucking podcast.
Fuck them. We're free from it. It's gone. They've admitted. Lab leak.
Doesn't matter.
Safe.
You still get you fucking banned on YouTube. But here's another lab leak theory. You ready for it? 39 viruses missing from an Australian lab.
Oh, I saw that.
God.
That happened like
How?
it didn't happen. It happened last year, and some of these viruses were like a form of even more infectious rabies
Oh, lovely.
that they were just keeping, like a form of
getting
rabies
rabies
that can
bombs.
affect every mammal species, every single one. So it's just like insane with like, and this has happened last year. Then a bunch of these terrible viruses, just a bunch of vials. That's like 230 vials and 39 different viruses just get fucking yanked out of this lab or mislabeled and misstored. Hopefully, more than likely. Hopefully,
Yeah, I think they also said there is a pretty good chance that they got disposed of and they just
hopefully
didn't log it or something like they
But the
didn't log
point is like if you're going with like a bioweapon, spreading it on fucking drones, it's like around neighborhoods and stuff, and like that's a theory that's floating out there.
But if you have the resources to get these drones up in the air and stuff, why would you have to go steal viruses from? Oh no, because some of those were only in Australia, right? Yeah, that's why. Some of them have only presented in Australia, I suppose.
But yeah, I agree. Like Australia would be considered a safe country in the Western world, so they're not really going to get those viruses. You would think you would get them from China or Russia. You would get them from an enemy. You would think like a lab would leak in China, and then that virus is.
Well, I think it's like ones they found like in animals or stuff like that, or something like that. I can't remember what some of them were, but some of them like it was like the hantavirus or something. But that's like you can find that in Africa.
COVID-19 was just the trial, right? All right, we said it. There we go. We're banned again. No big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't see it. I feel like you would have been like, we would have seen reports now if that was the case. Been like,
No.
holy rabies are up this last week in New Jersey.
All of a sudden, rabies have just started again in humans out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
This doesn't make any sense.
Just everyone in New Jersey is fucking foaming at the mouth.
Imagine
It would be a
rabies.
perfect place to
They're
keep
all
it
afraid of
contained, though.
water.
It's an island, and they're all hydrophobic.
Is New Jersey an island?
New Jersey's not an island.
They're all staying. It's not.
No.
I'm thinking Staten Island, maybe.
Manhattan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Staten
Staten Island.
Yeah.
So Jersey's an island.
Jersey might have a couple very small islands on the Hudson River,
Yeah,
maybe.
for some reason.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
that just made me think of a horror movie where some type of disease gets released, but it's transmitted by mosquitoes. Not a West Nile, not like a mosquito borne, like a fucking rabies, but transmitted by mosquitoes. Everyone's dead. It's over.
Yeah, that's it.
Everyone gets bit by a mosquito multiple times a year, if not
Some
hundreds of
more
times a
than
year.
Others.
Who are you talking about?
I'm usually pretty fucking good with mosquitoes. Like
Yeah,
we'll go camping. My wife gets
actually
fucking
the only
destroyed, and
people who would
usually-
survive are just really hairy people.
No, you
So
know what
really
that?
hairy
Maybe
people
that's
wouldn't
what
have
it
it.
is.
Andrew, you know what that is though?
It is. They actually said that people who have more body hair, it makes mosquitoes it's more difficult for them to.
Everything about mosquitoes you've heard is all bullshit. You know what it is though? Some people
Yeah, it's just-
are immune to the reaction of a mosquito bite, so you don't even feel like you got bit.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. That could.
So
be
they
it.
might take a little blood and fly away, but you don't get the red bump like the itchy.
I've
Yeah,
also
I don't
seen
get like a
mosquito-
histamine response.
Yeah.
I've seen mosquitoes get stuck on my leg hair, so I'm getting my that off, bitch.
Yeah, but you ever seen
And it
mosquitoes
reflects when it-
infesting a fucking like cow or something? They does a little bit of hair doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
They're just
that's
drinking
for
that
sure.
fucking blood like nothing. Horse, like fucking horse and like swampy ranch just getting eaten by mosquitoes. And flies drinking the fucking water out of their eyeballs. Fucking nature sucks, man. Nature sucks. Anyway,
have any other-
what other theories about it? Because I mean, the last theory I guess that I did hear, but doesn't really make sense in this scenario, is like a Project Blue Beam, like a
I saw that, but I didn't
hologram
understand.
invasion to kind of like say, oh, the aliens are coming. We must unite under
Yeah.
a one world government to defend against the aliens, and then they use that to take
Nobody-
over world
Yeah, but they did
martial
doing a
law.
horrible job with these fucking drones.
Yeah, and they're like, are they going to project like alien invasion? I'm like, no, nobody at this point is not aware of Watchmen. Nobody is not aware of the plot from Watchmen. Like that is exactly what happens.
I would
Everybody says
argue,
all the time,
Dan,
like,
I
it's
would
the same
argue
thing.
that there's a lot of people not aware of the plot of Watchmen. And there'd be some of us being like, this is a plot to the Watchmen. And people be like, what's Watchmen? We
like,
need to
go
band
read it.
together. Now's
Go
not
read
the
it.
time to talk about comics. We got to band together against
Go read
the
it or
aliens.
watch the movie. I guess like a movie's
No,
okay.
no, read it.
I
Read
mean,
it.
yeah,
Zack
read it.
Snyder's
But if you don't have
movie's pretty
time,
good, but
it's okay. Like Zack Snyder's movie's fine. Has the
it's
same
okay.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
listen, if you haven't read Alan Moore, fucking read him.
You should read it.
It'll change your life.
Pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, the last one of the Blue Beam doesn't really make sense in this scenario because it doesn't really reek of aliens. You know, like the drones are very much, for the most part,
Terrestrial.
look like our drones. It's just like a matter of fact,
they're not.
of whose
They're not
they
doing
are and
anything.
what they're
Weird.
doing.
They're not doing any. They're not. What is it? Or the five things that you have identifies them as UFOs. There's just like they're just hanging out there, which is weird in itself that they're in places they're not supposed to be. But yeah, they're just like hanging out. They're not like zipping around doing stuff. There have been reports of some, but it's kind of hard to tell which ones are related and which ones aren't. You know.
Well, and again, we talked about it earlier. You get the hysteria right now. Everyone's seeing drones. Everything's a drone.
I'm reading. There's
see it.
drones in Washington. There's drones in California now. The drones are everywhere.
Which is like,
Yeah.
yes, there are drones.
They're not
there
wrong.
are
There's drones.
everywhere.
There's
There are a lot of people.
millions of drones.
But
around.
this must make it so hard for investigators too. Like now, where you're
yeah.
just like, you're starting to like you're like, we know there's weird shit going on, but now we're almost looking for a needle in the haystack based on all these fucking reports, because you got to try to figure out what's real, what's not. You're trying to like isolate them, and then chances are by the time you're figuring out ones that it's like, who cares? We don't know what it is. It's so far past.
Well, the thing is, for me, is I just want to know, because if they're so sure there's no threat to public safety, why
Yeah.
is there no threat? Like, what are they then? If you know what
You
they
obviously
are,
know what they are.
That's what I mean. If they know what they are, and they're not going to tell you, then it's just going to lead to rampant speculation and conspiracy theories and everything else that comes with it. But if you really know, though, if this is a government exercise or whatever, and if they don't say that, it's just going to lead now forever. There'll be this theory that in 2024 there was a fucking drone flap.
But at this point, it's like, even if they tell it, like if they know that there's actually no reason for people to be concerned. If they say there's no reason to be concerned,
There's
people are
reason
still
to be
gonna
concerned, Dan, now.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like,
That's what they
they're-
want
and
you
maybe
to
they're just
think.
like, well, maybe they're just like, fuck it. Like, we're just like, there's nothing to worry about. Absolutely
This
nothing to
is
worry
true.
about. And then they know that people are just going to freak out anyways. Like, we're not going to bother trying to convince you that there's not anything, because people are just going to go anyways.
It'd be
So,
funny if the government started getting a little bit of sense of humor and they're like, aliens. These are aliens.
yeah,
That's all they
it's-
said, like very nonchalant, but they just said it in a public statement.
Yeah. They
And
they tried
and
what was
let it fucking run.
Who did that? Who was the one guy that we talked about? Like, he brought out like an alien guy in a costume when there was
Oh, that was
like
the
a
Phoenix
UFO
Lights,
sighting.
that
Is that-
fucking dummy.
Is that the Phoenix Lights?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people didn't like that.
And then after, he's like, I feel really bad about that.
Yeah. Like, we tried that already to have a sense of humor. It doesn't work.
That was a little bit of a
was too
mocking
bad.
sense of humor. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, they're aliens.
Dylan,
Wink,
guys. Wink, wink.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, it's crazy that there's been so many sightings, and there actually are these just unidentified drones that are doing something,
There are drones.
like, which is
yeah,
crazy.
and I mean,
I still think it's people.
happening.
It's
still
probably
happening.
people shooting without a permit. Like, I think so, definitely for sure.
It's
Or
been
getting,
so
like,
long now that we're weeks
footage.
into this.
Yeah.
It's just like
We're-
it's going to go down as just like the rogue drone. It's just like just one guy.
I will say a lot of the videos I have seen, I'm like that's a plane. Like that's a plane.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm going to say just like Project Blue Book, it's like 95% of those cases were like, we know these are. There's no way.
That's a plane.
It's a plane.
Like,
or whatever.
that's a plane. That's China Lantern.
But there
that's
is.
plane.
I mean, they've said there's
But
drones.
Dan, how confident are you deciphering like a plane at night and between and a fixed wing drone at night from the ground? Like, how confident are you looking at a picture of one of those with the lights and being like,
I mean,
that's
they're
a
both
plane, that's a
technically
drone?
planes. Like they're both technically planes.
Yes, but when which one? Like, how confident are you being like, that's a drone? That's
How would I know they're not doing the same thing? Like, it wouldn't be like really I mean, yes, it is. I admit there are drones. Like, there probably are drones up there. And if it's a fixed wing drone, it's still a plane. How do I know they're not just flying planes over places, taking photos, doing whatever that they want to do?
I would say the size.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, a drone, even like a fixed wing drone's bigger than like a roto drone, like a fucking helicopter drone.
Yeah,
it's not that big. It's a car.
But the
car
fixed wing
size.
drones don't hover I think just like the perception wise, like a fixed wing drone versus like the hovering quadcopter drones. The quadcopter drones are more suspicious on the thing of the fixed wing drones. You know, fixed wing drones can just fly because they just look like a normal plane. So I'd be like, that's still a plane, or it's a type of plane. Or the little hover drones, I'm like, I'm a little more concerned about that one. Like,
It's true. And when you
what
get
is
into
it doing?
distance
It's a
in the
little
sky,
weird, you know?
is that thing 500 meters up or is that thing 5,000 meters up? Because lights, especially in like a cloudy sky or something, lights can seem way bigger than they actually are. It's
just
nighttime sky, and you look up, you're like, all right, that plane might be 35,000 feet up, or that plane might be 5,000 feet up that just took off. It's hard to really tell at night.
So back to I don't know. I saw a video the other day or yesterday, and it was like somebody was driving around 495, which is one of the major roads in my area. And it was like, they took this video of these red flashing lights, seemingly as they're driving in their car. They're like, what are these red flashing lights? Like, this is a drone. That's whatever drone. It's just sitting there. It's just hovering. And then it took me a while to go through the comments and whatever, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's I was like, that's not a drone for sure. Like, it doesn't look like a drone, and it's definitely just red lights. It's not the red and green. So I was like, okay. And then I had to scroll down to be like, oh, those look exactly like the aircraft avoidance lights that you put on top of antenna. And it was foggy. It's been foggy the last couple weeks, so it's like, I was like, oh, because everybody thought it was moving from the video, but the guy's just driving, and it's like, no, it
gives the appearance.
yeah. So we were just kind of like, meh, and it's like,
but
yes,
that
it
goes
is
to
those
the mass
antennas.
hysteria now. People everyone's seeing drones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're aware. You're looking for them. You're looking for things. You see a light in the sky. You're like, is that a plane? Is that a drone? I don't know. And everyone probably also wants to.
There's a drone behind Andrew right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if I was in
You
New
got
Jersey right now,
75,000 people in that Facebook group.
if I was in New Jersey right now, I'd 100% want to be seeing one of these drones.
Yeah, you'd be
Just to
recording
say I
every
did.
single light in the and to make up for the dishonoring yourself, but for the time you didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's cool though. Pay attention, see if anything else comes of it.
Yeah.
Get the drone fever.
It's kind of all what we know right now.
Hopefully it's not a dirty bomb. Hopefully it's not a form of rabies. Hopefully it's none of that bad stuff.
It'd be nothing dirtier than a fucking rabies bomb.
Oh, a rabies bomb.
As dirty as it gets.
Just gets in the water and air and everywhere. Then you just got 28 days later. Everyone's a fucking
Infecting the
zombie.
island.
But don't
of New
they have
Jersey.
to don't they have to transmit?
Not if you do a gain of function on it and you make it way more fucking
Well,
terrible.
if you can make your virus any way that you want it, then it can do whatever you want it to do.
Airborne rabies would be
Yes.
pretty brutal. That'd
Just
be
empty
pretty
airborne
brutal.
rabies. It could just be just airborne hantavirus, and you die in 5.
Isn't
4 or 5
rabies
days.
100% fatal if you don't get a shot in 24 hours or something?
Hantavirus is also extremely, and you die in a day, 2 days, or something like that.
Jesus, man. Some of
You just bleed out all of your orifices, isn't it? It's like you just it's like your eyeballs out of your skin, all your mucous membranes become
your
completely
body just
porous. And
melts.
you just melt. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but what if
pretty
you
gross.
close your eyes, hold it in?
Rabies can
comes out your
be transmitted through aerosol.
really?
This is
Very
super
rare,
close.
but it can be.
So
watch
if it's
out.
rare and then you could do gain of function on it and make a rabies bomb,
Dirty bomb.
dirty bomb.
This is the dirty bomb they're
dirty
speaking of.
rabies bomb.
By
You've heard it here first.
You know what it is? This is all marketing for 28 years later. They're going to release a fucking rabies bomb to coincide with the release of the movie. We're going to have fast zombies, everybody.
Breaking through windows. Oh, it's fun. It's
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. See what happens. It's just we're a few weeks in. Will it go farther?
Find out. We got any new Patreon supporters or Zell?
I didn't even pull them up tonight.
Oh,
I was gonna.
Well, listen. I guess it was kind of
Nice when we wait a couple weeks, so it looks like we have more than like fucking one.
Want me to pull them up? I'll pull them up right now. Let's see.
No. We'll do it next week. This was more of a power hour.
Yeah.
Timely. Listen, as we say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Peace.
An O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card is the perfect gift for that hard-to-buy-for person. Give the gift of convenience from O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly